Welcome to Breaking Bread's weekly watch list. I hope everyone had a profitable week while I was on vacation. If you didn't, it's a new week. Shake it off, learn from your errors, and let's keep creating those winning habits. Now, before we get into the charts, another reminder: Mentorship, my graduates program, is still available. I have 6 slots left. If you're looking to get in to learn futures, just using fibs and price. I do have 2 discount codes that I posted on social media, and I'm gonna post it here. But if you and someone you know is looking to get in the future side and they're gonna hold you accountable for becoming the trader that you want to become, then you do get 35% off those 2 programs. It has to be the same program, but you have to use this discount code here. Now make sure it's somebody that you can trust that's going to hold you responsible and you're going to hold them responsible. Also, just 15% off top, just using Breaking Bread at checkout. Individuals programs only. All right, so let's take it to the charts. And let's see what I'm looking at this week. I'm a little behind with the watch list. Just got back from my vacay. All right, so let's start with earnings. See what the earnings calendar is looking like this week. All right, so some of the key ones that stick out to me is PBR. I love that one. Good small cap. That's a good one. SE is a good one. HD, of course. Nothing there. Cisco is a good one on Wednesday. Aftermarket. Walmart. Deere is a great one. AMAT, of course. So like I always say, I'm not looking to play any of these. I'm just looking to catch the reaction to it. But be careful. Anything that you're taking this week, make sure they don't have earnings or it's not a sympathy for something that does have earnings. An example of that would be HD. A sympathy of that would be Lowe's. So keep that in mind when you're looking for your plays this week. All right, now let's look at the red folders that we have coming this week. All right, so we had no red folder news today. We do have red folder news tomorrow at 8:30 in the morning. We have PPI. It's a minute since I've seen PPI before CPI. We have to look at that, but I feel like CPI normally comes before PPI. But we do have Uncle Rome talking at 10 a.m. On Wednesday, we do have red folder news at 8:30. We have CPI, retail numbers, and we have manufacturers index numbers. And then Thursday, we do have 8:30 news at 8:30, which is unemployment claims. So keep that in mind when you're holding your trades overnight or you're looking for swings, even on the future side and the option side. Just keep that in mind that these red folders can affect your plays that you're in. All right, now let's take it to the chart and let's see what I am looking at this week. This is a short week for me since I'm starting behind the ball. But let's see what I'm looking at. All right, so we're going to start on the future side since the futures market is currently open. So let's look at that real quick. So I always look at the VIX. And see what that is telling me, and that should tell me the opposite of what NQ and ES is telling me. So the VIX we have currently fell 2 up on the quarter. We are 2 down on the month. On the week we are currently still inside. On the day, it looked like it gapped up. It gapped up overnight. And we are 2 up on the day above the week 50%. Put this on the 4-hour. All right, so I have the VIX. I want to see what the VIX is going to do when it gets up here at 1397. Will it reject? This is a strong level here. This is my 76 aligned with a 50% area. We do have a gap above and a gap below. But do remember, we do have red folder news this week. But I do want to see what price does here at 1397. If it starts pushing up to the 1397, then of course NQES should be heading down. And we'll see what the chart is telling us when I go over there on that side in a moment. But I want to see if we keep pushing up, will NQ and ES push down? If it does get above this 1397, like I said, we do have this gap above. So let's see if we're going to fill it or are we going to reject the bottom of this gap and treat the bottom of this gap as a level of resistance and start heading back down. So keep an eye on the VIX. Now let's slide over to NQ and let's see what that's telling us. All right, let's drop this down to the hour. We are currently open and running. All right, so NQ, nothing much has changed. We are still inside on the quarter. We are inside on the month. We are currently still inside on the week. The day, we are double inside on the day. We are holding below the previous day 50% currently. As long as we hold below this level, then I'm looking to play this to the downside. First target would be the 253 area. After that, it'd be 235. See what price does at this area, because this was a strong area previously. To the upside, price for me would have to get above 283 and close above 283 for me to trust going long. But if it does, then I have the 300 range as a target. And this is also another target price level here. That 334. Then price get above that. We do have a gap at this 350 area, which extends all the way up to the 481 area. So we want to see what price is going to do there. 78 level is up here at the top, just like how it was on the VIX. There is a 78 level here. So I want to see what price is going to do at that level. And if you look across, the 78 level is aligned with the previous level of resistance at the time. So if it gets back up here, I want to see if it's going to reject like it did last time, or is news going to push it above it to go fill this gap later on in the week. So keep an eye on that. For those, green is my upside targets, red is my downside targets. So let's see what it's going to do for the rest of the week. Let's look at ES. ES should be telling the same story. All right, so on ES we do have, let me clear this up for you guys. We are currently a fell to up on the quarter. We are inside on the month. We are inside on the week. On the day, we are double inside again, rejecting off this 78 level that I showed you guys on NQ. Is doing the same thing on ES on the day time frame. So again, for me to trust going long, I would need price to get above 248 to take it to 254. See what price does there. It breaks through that. Then our week high. Is this our week high? I don't think that's the week high. Let me see real quick. Yeah, so we're going to take it to our week high of 5264 and see what price does that. The purple line here is the previous week high is 259. So if we break through that, then I want to see what price does there. Price breaks through that, then we have 270 as our next target. If we stay below this previous day, 50%, then our first target to the downside will be this lovely low we have here. We'll just make that 240. See what price does at 240. It breaks it at. Then we're going to play it to the 5235. It breaks that. We do have a 50% level here for a gap at 225. Break through that. Then, of course, our ultimate target will probably be this week 50% and see what price does at that level. All right, so that's the future side. Some of the tickers that I'm looking at on the option side is Disney. Disney is the first one I'm looking at. I'm still sitting in some Disney 107 puts, so of course I'm gonna favor this to the downside, but we'll see what happens. If it hits my stop, it hit my stop. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But we do have inside on the quarter. We are 2 down on the month. We are inside on the week, coming off the previous quarter 50%. We are currently inside on the day. We are currently inside on the day. And we are, let's change this back to the 4 hour. So for entry to the downside, If I wasn't already in, I would look for 105.65. Take this down to the bottom area here of the top of this gap at 104.21. See what price does at that level. It breaks 104.21, then we're going to play it to the 50% of this gap that it has down here at 102.88. It breaks through that, then I'm staying in this to fill this whole gap, and possibly to the year 50 if we fill that whole gap. But that's what I'm looking at to the downside. I'm not looking at this play to the upside, but if you do want to take this play to the upside, you definitely can. Above 106, I'll look to take it to the previous quarter 50%. Above that, I'll look to take it to the 106.64. We do have this gap above, so anything is possible. We got red news, like I said, this week that could possibly affect this play, so keep that in mind. All right, so the next one I'm looking at is Celsius. All right, so Celsius is currently coming off the previous quarter 50% inside, forming an inside hammer currently. We are 2 up on the month. We are inside on the week. Come on. Inside on the week. We are inside on the day. And then we are inside on the 4 hour. Now, I would personally love for this to pull back to the 79.42. I should have gotten this last week. Had I been here, I would have, because you can see my range that I've created with my fibs. But this is a little late to the party, but I really like this one because if you go look at Pepsi, Pepsi is running right now. So I want to see if Celsius, which is a sympathy to Pepsi, I want to see if it's going to run like Pepsi is currently doing and attack these highs. But above 88.03, I'll look to play it to 89.56. It get above that. That will be our next target. Let's see. Our next target would be 91.51. That's to the upside. Now to the downside, you can play this to the downside, but again, like I said, Pepsi is running up, so I want to catch this running up. But if you're one of those traders that want to play it to the downside, go ahead. Below 83.30, you can definitely take this to the week 50%, 79.30. I'm sorry, 79.41, and see what price does there. But I would love for price to pull back, bounce off of this, and head back up. I would love for that to happen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. A little extra one I'm gonna slide in is NVDA. I look at NVDA to tell me what NQ is going to do when I'm playing on the future side. As you can see, NVIDIA is inside the range that I have created here on my charts. I'm not going to be left behind. Whenever one breaks out one of these sides, I'm taking it to the upside or downside. Doesn't matter to me. I do have a gap to the downside here, so go ahead and set your alerts and take entry when you see the entry that you like. But it's definitely in the range. It's consolidating. Whenever we want to break out, I'm in there. We do have a gap to the downside, like I said, and then we also do have earnings coming up next week. So it may just sit in this range until that time, or it can take off and give us a fake move before it makes its true move for earnings. So keep an eye on that one. All right, so we have come to the end of this weekly watch list. I hope the information in this video is assisting you in some way along your trading journey. It is still 2024. It's still our Kobe year. It's still our winning seasons. Like I say, it's either going to work or it's going to work. That is the only option. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. You can drop it in the comment section below. You can even email me. But until next time, you guys stay blessed, and thank you for breaking bread with me.